Good morning, everybody. It looks like it's 10 o'clock. How about we go ahead and get started here this morning? And let me just clear out a piece on my desktop. All right, so my name is Wayne Thomas. I'm the photographer, videographer here for the University of Houston College of Liberal Arts, Social Sciences, and I work in the Office of Education and Technology. Following up with Tan's presentation a few weeks ago, she did a presentation on how to make a website through the Microsoft 365 platform. And I have been using a little thing called Adobe Spark now for a couple of years, and I have found it extremely easy and extremely helpful. There are some limitations, but those limitations seem to make my life easier and enable me to put out a website very, very fast, very simply. And I've done it repeatedly over the years, and the site just keeps getting better. And the complications are minimal. So I figured it would be a nice thing to add to you, to your book of tricks. I currently teach also as an adjunct, and I use this with my students all the time. I give them a little demonstration like I'm giving to you today so that they can do things like their final projects through this site. It's a great way to deliver something visually, and it's also a great way to deliver something that's shareable. So it makes lots of people happy. And it's simple, it's not complex, and there's no code. So there's so many nice things about this. So what I figured I would do today is I would rely on this all working smoothly, and I would just try to demonstrate and create a page right in front of you. So I'm going to try to get all the little extra bells and whistles off my screen that Zoom puts on the screen so that I can see everything. What I'm hoping at this point is you're looking at my Chrome page. And what I have done is I just simply go to spark.adobe.com. Now, I have a little bit of an extra benefit because I am a subscriber to Adobe, a paid member. So I might have a couple extra bells and whistles, but that's of no problem because Spark is absolutely free, and you have full use of this service, minus a few extra cute bells and whistles that I don't usually need anyway. So I think this is really a great service for faculty members and students alike. And as a staff member at University of Houston, I get use out of this also. So I wanted to give you an introduction here to the Spark page. You'll have some options when you come into this. And what I would just say is when you come in, it's going to ask you to do a couple things. And what we're doing today is we're creating a web page. So I have already selected the web page option, and this would be your starting screen. It's very blank. So what you're going to do is you're going to see that it's prompting you in a few different areas. You can start off by adding title or a subtitle. You've got different settings. You can preview your website. You can present it just like you would present a PowerPoint presentation. You can also share it. And hiding over here in the far right corner are themes, which is a really nice thing that we'll talk about here just in a moment. So as I'm a photographer at University of Houston, one of the things I've been doing recently is been making photographs of campus. So I just figured I would just create a web page showing you some of the scenes that I have found around campus. So that would be a good title, don't you think? So let's just add it right in here. I've clicked on this area and it's ready for import or input. And then it also can give me a subtitle. I can totally ignore this if I want to, and this would go away in the after I publish it, or I can just go ahead and use it. Something simple like that. So again, I'm going to be moving some of the Zoom features out of the way so I can see the screen. But here at the bottom, the next thing is I start to scroll. This page is a scroll down type interface. So I have a plus mark here. And so when I click the plus mark, and I can't see because of my Zoom features, so I'm going to move those off to the side. So I have the opportunity to throw in a photo. Now, what this is it's giving you, this is essentially the launch page. So you can go without a photo here. You can add more text and title, But I thought I would go ahead and add a photo. So what is already prompted is this area here. I am going to cancel this because I want you to see over on the right-hand side, the Add Photos area. This is fantastic because it's tied into multiple areas you can pull photos from. So right off the bat, you can pull photos on the Upload Photo area straight out of your computer. And we'll do that. So matter of fact, what I have here is I'll just click it. I have created a folder on my desktop called Spark. That's for today's presentations. And here are those pictures. And I can just simply click and they will pop up here into this space. Some of the other things that you can do here is you can connect into your Google Drive, your Google Photos, of course, Dropbox. Since I'm a subscriber and a big user of Adobe products, I have a Lightroom account as well. And I have synchronized a bunch of photographs through my Lightroom into the Adobe cloud space. And so by clicking Lightroom, it already pulls up the pictures that I have set for today. So they're right here. So that's another cheat that I have that I think is great. And I can also pull and look for free photos. And this is another great thing about this service is you can find free stock photos that Adobe has already curated. So we'll just take a quick look in here, and let's just say I want pictures of campus. So it's going to search and look at that. I can start pulling in pictures from campus. And I can pull this in for an example. And this is a free stock photograph. I will give you a quick little idea. Adobe's done the best they can to go through and make sure that these are all copyright free. I've gone through and read the small print on this, and to the best of their knowledge, it is. If you keep it in a closed environment, I would say you're probably great. However, if you're going out and marketing stuff and selling stuff using these pictures, I would take an extra precautionary measure and check the pictures out. And contact. They have all the photographer's information here as well, so that you can go in and contact them and double check. So as I go to back to the screen here, I've got this picture set up. Of course, this isn't UH, so why would I want to have this here? So I'm going to delete that picture. I'm going to go back to square one. So I'm back to the beginning. I've still got my text and my subtitle, and I go back to the photos, and I'm back here. I'm going to go back to the main area, and I'm going to go back to my Lightroom, and I'm going to pull this picture here. And there's a nice reason why I pulled this picture. This is a photograph I shot last week, actually. It's a panorama shot, but this shot is wider than you see. So the screen isn't able to catch all of it. So I click the picture once again, and I've got the option to delete the picture, which you saw me do earlier. I can replace it, put another picture in, and I can also change the focal point. Once I click that, a little circle shows up here, and I can just start dragging around the picture. Well, I've got Fannin Hall over here, but I over here have Cullen. And I think having both Cullen and Fannin on the screen makes it look more interesting. So I can just go ahead and release the click on that and press save. And now look, my photographs are nicely framed in between these two monoliths right there. And I think this is a nice starting page. So I can start scrolling down, and as I scroll, this window pops up, and now it's just prompting me to get the next bit of information onto the website. So through here, I can also add text, I can add buttons, video, I can add a photo grid, a photo slideshow, and I can also add a split layout. And so these are many options here that I can do. I'll just show you again, when I click photo, it goes up to my default area, which for me is Lightroom. But as soon as I cancel that, it'll go in and say, okay, what photograph would you like to pull in? So let's just upload a photo from my area here. And I'm going to go icons so I can get a preview of what this is. So since we had Colin in the last picture, let's go ahead and pop open this one. And just like that, it's pulling it in. It's doing its last toning of the picture and uploading, and there the photograph is. Once the photograph is here, I can do a few different things with the photograph. I can place this and position it a little bit differently. Right now, it's just in line inside the body of the website, but I can also choose to just fill the screen, which is awfully nice, depending on how big that picture is. And if you notice, if I do that, it gives me an option to throw a caption here on the left. I can make it a window. I really like the window because as you scroll, it just creates a window and just scrolls through your picture. It's a very nice animated way to look through photographs on a website, and you'll see it more as I continue. So I'll tell you what, well, I'm going to keep on showing you some different options here with this photograph. I can go full width. Clicking the picture gives me back my options, and I've also got replace and delete. But for now, I'm going to go back to that window option because I think that's pretty interesting. Now, I go straight from here right into a photograph. Maybe you're saying it might be nice to break this up with some text. And I say, you know, you're probably right. So let's just go over here to, and I'm just going to steal some text just for a demonstration right here. I'm going to come back over. And again, we're putting text in. I kind of like this idea. And I have all these options. You've seen all these in Microsoft Word. But I'm just going to throw down some quotes. And I just copied that text in from the website, and there you have it. So now I'm back here to the photograph. And I'll leave the caption alone for now, but you can just simply add text here. It looks real nice on the side. And you can also move that text around also. Going through here, let's just add another photograph. I'm going back into Lightroom. I'm just showing you multiple different ways that you can add photographs here. Let's just toss in some azaleas here. How about that? And again, I might be biased, but I like my photographs big. But maybe you're saying, Wayne, we got too many photographs here. Well, you're probably right. So let's look at a split layout. See what a split layout here does for us. So I've chosen this. It's already said, let me get rid of that for us, but I'm going to go back to the split layout, and I can add my image. And since it's more of not a full screen, maybe a vertical picture would be better here. So maybe I'll toss in this photograph, and then over here, I can put in my text. That was a conflict that I just pushed through real fast. So I can add text here. And since I've already got text on, I've already got text built into my clipboard, I'll just toss it in here. And as you see, I can change the style of the text just by simply clicking back on the text. I can make it title. I can make it bigger title. Or I can create bullet points here as well. So again, just a different look. As you see, I can just keep doing this. There's also a slideshow, and there's another grid layout. I can also import video into this. There are some buttons that might be nice to add. You can add buttons to help separate spaces, and then the buttons you can name and call them, put names on them so you can make transitions on your website. So I wanted to show you that window now that we've got some content underneath it. That window just flows really nicely, and it's just a nice visual. As you see also here in this box moves through your image as well. What it's doing is it's creating just a nice little animation to move through your images to make them look a little bit less static. This is a brilliant and beautiful feature to use. So what are you might be saying, Wayne, this is all great, but I don't really care for the colors. I don't really care for the text. Well, you're in luck. Because remember the top right, I told you there was a themes area. Well, let's check out the themes here now that we're into it. And here they are. These are just themes that are built in that I can just change at any time. And they'll go through and change the color system. They'll also go through and change your fonts too, if you like. So I'm going to go back and go into medium. And it gives me a different font choice here. Changes the color. I can go into light. I can make it more whimsical. So you see I've got all these options. The one thing that's nice too is if you do decide to subscribe to Adobe, here I can manipulate this even further and I can change fonts and get very specific. For instance, I sometimes need to make sure that my fonts match the University of Houston fonts when things go live and they're public. So I can go in here and I can change those fonts now that I'm inside the paid service. As a free user, you'll be limited to what is here on the right-hand side. But even still, there's so many good options here to make a simple, quick website. Once you're done and you feel like you've got something accomplished, and I'd say for right now, you've seen most of the features that this offers, I can simply now go and do a share. And before I share it, I have to publish it. And right here, the options are coming up. I've got it titled. I'm okay with that. If you decide you want to categorize this, maybe I put it in education. There's the author's name, photo credits. And since these are my photographs, of course, I would put Thomas. This is an area for Adobe. If you want to share the site with them so they can publicize this, you can do that. And then it creates a link. And right now it's going through that process of publishing the site and creating the link. And here the link is. I can copy it. It's now on my clipboard. And I can throw it in an email to my instructor, to my colleagues, to my web designer, to whoever I need. And there you go. You also have some other options here, as you can see. With that, today's discussion and demonstration is short and sweet. I really like this service. It's simple. It's not complex. You don't need to know code. It's very visual. It has some nice bells and whistles built in without even thinking about it or even trying. And all within about 15 minutes of me talking through this presentation, we've built a respectable website here. It looks good. It's simple. And you put another 15 minutes, you can double the length of this and add more content. And you can change this at any time. And the link that you have will still work. You can share it and publish it over and over and over again with changes, or you can create new links as you go through and make the changes. With that, does anybody have any questions over this? I will assume then that's a no. I hope this makes sense. This is a short and sweet idea to help you get through maybe some new work. Some ideas that you can use with this is maybe this is a good place to try putting a syllabus. As an instructor, I use this for final projects and large projects for students. I suggest they try this. It's free, it's easy. For personal use, I can make websites that I share with the folks every now and then to talk about a trip that I made. I think this has many uses. It's free and it's easy. And I hope you find that this is useful for you as well. Thank you much.